Time to set the old turducken aside and get ready for football as here we go on a Thanksgiving night. This fielded right at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Well, we get a first look at this Patriots offense, and of course leading them for his second season. Last year's Rookie of the Year runner-up out of Alabama, Mac Jones.
This is what this man was born for, the big spotlight on the national stage like this. Really, his entire career, he's demonstrated incredible poise no matter what type of situation his team was in. No situation is too big for him, and you can tell in the way that he takes the field. His self-belief is evident, and he gets the job done in his mind each and every time.
They'll run with a former member of the Crimson Tide, Damian Harris, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Partner, one thing I was lousy at growing up, track and field. I could never anticipate the start before a race, but how about that backer? He figured it out, jumped the count, and turned it into a really nice play for his defense.
On 2nd and 12, Jones. This complete to Henry over the middle. So it's a gain of 12 there on the reception, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. We're scoreless after 1. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Patriots in control of the football. An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. Looking to throw. Jones setting up the screen. Harris. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. He completes it to Henry. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Throwing again on 2nd down. Jones. And throw right side complete to Parker. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Again, he'll drop to throw. And right side, Henry's got it. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Open receiver here, complete, it's Parker. And he will have a first down here as they get into field goal range, down just shy of the 20. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence and allows him to play better as the game goes on.
Especially crucial here on the road. Jones now throwing on 1st down. That's swung out wide to Harris. So we've reached halftime here on a Thanksgiving night as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon. Once again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, as we'll run you through what's going on both today and later on this weekend. Some great games coming up on Sunday, highlighted by a 1 o'clock matchup in Miami. A good test for the Dolphins as they'll square off against the visiting Houston Texans. More good stuff later in the afternoon, one being down in the desert, where it'll be the Cardinals at home in Glendale. Out on the West Coast, more good stuff in the late afternoon as we'll be watching the game at SoFi Stadium. Well, it will be the Chargers. And then finally, a Cyber Monday edition of Monday Night Football, as the final game of November is the Steelers and the Colts from Lucas Oil Stadium. Meanwhile, in our game, to call it a defensive battle would be an understatement. 0-0 is our score. We'll be looking for something in that second half as we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. And the Vikings set to go on offense to begin the third quarter. And Charles, a scoreless first half. How does that change how you assess things here moving forward?
Well, it doesn't change it a whole lot because remember, it's still scoreless, which means you're starting from 0 again, so you just have one half to play instead of 2. What I would look at my play sheet, though, and see is something that maybe loosens things up for my guys, gets a smile on their faces, and gets them going to begin the second half.
He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook, and he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down. We are heading to the 4th here on Thanksgiving night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. 2nd down and 7. Cousins to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Christian Barmore getting in there to drop him.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. So back onto the field come the Pats for their second drive. And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down. And he's got some space here. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So it's the Patriots who will have first crack at it as we're back underway here in overtime. And no return here to begin the overtime session. That'll be a touchback. So the Patriots coming out now. Well, they fought hard to reach this point, Charles, and now what an opportunity. They've got the ball first, a chance to take this overtime win away from the hostile crowd.
And you know, as the quarterback steps into the huddle, the first thing he's telling his team is, remember, we need 6, not 3. So we don't need a good drive. We need a great drive. And this is what they've been planning for. It's time to execute and take it downfield, even against all these odds.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. Jones, first throw of overtime here. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. What a gigantic interception here in the first drive of overtime. And now, Charles, with where they're at on the field, I mean, they're already in field goal range to win this thing.
And the head coach is just talking to the special teams coordinator right now and saying, okay, where does he want the ball positioned? Because that's all you're going to do on offense. Move it to that spot. Make sure you take care of the football, and probably third down, kick the field goal, and try and win this game.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. Now a timeout called for by the offense. So we'll take a break with them and be right back. To throw again on second down. Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It'll be their second and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. No gain on the play there, second down. Well, how about this? The very, very rare tie that we just witnessed. Hard to believe.
You don't see it very often. A bonus period of football, yet both teams go home a little bit unsatisfied.
So a full 4 quarters and the extra session, not a single point scored. How about both of these defenses in this one?
I mean, just look at my face.
You're smiling.
What am I feeling right now?
Jubilation.
Jubilation, pride. Defense is still in the game. Look, no one's going to go home happy because there is not a winner. And we don't get an extra period to play because we're in regular season. But bottom line, that's
Zeros.
football. That's football to me.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on